2 microphones,
2 Amandas.
and some seriously entertaining tales. I'm Amanda Wedekamp.
And I'm Amanda Stanzione.
We know stories connect us all.
And we realized we have a mountain of stories to share. So buckle up,
And brace yourself for a wild ride.
because we've got a lot to say and probably too much to share.
Amanda, let me ask you, are you a plant person? And I'm mostly talking indoor plants.
Oh, indoor plants. No. Except for, you gave me an amaryllis, and that is the one plant that I have kept alive.
They are so fun.
And the reason I've kept it alive is because you don't do anything to it.
Yes, I gave you and a couple of other of our friends the waxed amaryllises.
And it was fabulous.
And they're so fun because they just bloom.
And I love that because when you gave it to us, it looked like a little onion
Yes.
with a sprout. And I thought, is this thing really going to grow
What's
into
gonna
something?
happen?
Right. And then you just watch it grow. You don't water. You don't do any. I mean, I put it in front of some sunlight, and then it grew into this beautiful, like 7 different flowers. It was fabulous.
Yes.
So am I a plant person? Only the ones that I don't have to do anything to.
That you don't have to take care of.
Exactly.
So mostly fake plants.
All fake plants.
I was also not a plant person, except when we moved into our house in 2022. My daughter had gone to college, so now we were officially empty nesters.
Yay!
And because we were in a new neighborhood, I met some new neighbors, and one of the neighbors and I connected really well, and she is super into plants. She gave me some of her propagations. Do you know what those are?
What is a propagation?
It's a cut part of the plant that will then grow into a bigger part of a plant.
Kind of like just, I mean, are you chopping it in half kind of? Or like
You cut some of the
the
leaves
root?
off, and then it grows roots in water.
that would be really cool.
It's super
Yeah.
fun. So she gave me 2 different kinds of plants, and she has really educated me on plants and how you take care of them. She started with 2 that were pretty simple to take care of. I have then since propagated them again.
She started you out early,
Yes.
little beginner, and now you've turned into what, master class green thumb?
Yes, not exactly, but I do love my indoor plants, and I'm very proud of how well they have done. And one of the funniest things that Gwen said to me was, she's like, "Mom, you just needed us gone so you had time to take care of something else."
And you know that's the truth.
It was the truth. So fast forward to just a couple of weeks ago, this friend of mine, the neighbor, she was going on a long vacation with her family, and she asked me to water her plants.
Because she trusted you.
She trusted me, and I felt very honored, honestly, that she asked me to do this because I know how serious her plants are.
And yeah, and she knows that she's taught you well.
Yes. So I head over there, and I am greeted with, already in the entryway, so many plants. I'm getting tons of ideas on how to display my own.
Oh my gosh.
And
That makes me nervous.
I start counting how many plants she has because there are that many. I lose track after 25.
25
Yes.
plants.
She has 25
In her house.
more than 25 living plants inside her house, and they're beautifully arranged. Like, it doesn't seem like it's overkill in any way. They are just perfectly placed.
But that does seem nuts to me. Like, I can't imagine having even 5 real plants in my house.
Yeah, more than 25. She's very into plants, which I absolutely love. So
wild.
I'm going around, I'm watering them. There's some instructions. I spill a little water on one of them on the wood table, so I'm wiping that up. I'm sending pictures to her just to let her know, do you want me to
Or-
do any more?
Or she's got cameras in her house and she's watching you water these plants.
Could be also because they had to turn the alarm off for me to head over. So I had to text her and be like, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
I get upstairs to her office, and there's a plant stand that is tiered. So there's 3 different plants.
I know what you mean.
There are 2 plants in this plant stand, and I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, oh, like, these kind of look fake. But someone who has more than 25 real plants is not going to have fake plants.
Right.
There's
And
no chance.
And you need to, could you imagine if those 2 plants died? And
Right.
it's because you skipped watering them?
Yes, she would never trust me again. So I'm feeling the one, and I'm thinking, it's definitely fake, but I don't know. I'm going to water it. I don't think it's fake. I'm watering it. I watered it.
Just to be sure.
Yes. No, I really thought it was real.
Okay, you really did.
I did. I water it, and then I realized, oh no, it's totally fake.
You just knew it right after you watered
yes.
it.
And, because you're just trying to feel it, but I don't want to disrupt the plants.
Yes.
If it is real, but then I'm like, no, this one's totally fake.
I mean, start digging around in the dirt.
Right. I was like, I don't know how much to upset this plant.
Yes.
So then the one below it is also fake. I watered one of her fake plants, and then I texted her and I said, hey, if the fake plants were a test, I failed and I completely watered one of them. And she just laughed and thought that was so funny.
That is funny. And I would definitely water the fake plants because I have no idea.
Yeah, they looked so real. So that is my foray into the plant life world. And I will show some pictures on social of some of my plants.
Exciting. I'm titling this, Yikes! Who's there?
Oh no.
Let me set this up for you first. My top 3 fears are sharks, alligators, and home invasions.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not probably going to run into a shark or an alligator because I'm not going to put myself in that situation. But home invasion, I mean, that's not my choice.
Right.
I'm not deciding that.
Do you swim in the ocean ever? No.
Well, let me take that back. If we are on... I'm not weird. Like if we're on some,
I'm not weird.
Like if we're on some boat trip with friends and we're in the ocean, like, on some like vacation-y, we're not out in deep sea fishing. That is a hard no. Hard no. Hard no. But if we're like on vacation and we get out and swim around, yes, the water is pretty. That's fine. But I am not just walking into the ocean and the waves are crashing on my feet and maybe up to my knees, and that feels great. Feel the salty
But you're not
air.
going under.
No. Feel the... Well, I did do a cold plunge once, and I ran in real quick and then went under and came right back out. But I'm not a swim in the ocean kind of gal. I'll stand there, the water comes up to my knees and just, salty air, but that's it. I'm good. Then I'm back on the sand.
Do you prefer the pool?
Yes. I love the pool.
Me too.
Love the pool.
I do love the pool.
I also know that there are no sharks or alligators in the pool.
Typically not.
Unless you live in Florida and you don't have an enclosed outdoor pool. And then
I'm not getting in your pool.
And then people find alligators in their pool. So anyway, okay, those are my 3 fears. Do you have any kind of irrational fears?
Well, I don't like rodents.
Okay.
I mean, there's I've spent a night in a hotel because I thought, right.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
no.
Definitely not a fan of that.
No.
Escalators.
Wait. I need to process this. Escalators as a fear?
Yes, I get anxious about stepping on, especially with my carry-on luggage, because remember, we don't check luggage. So I'm rolling it up.
That's its own situation that I just cannot talk about right now.
I'm rolling it up and I'm thinking, okay, you got to step on, but you got to make sure your bag's there. But then if it's too heavy and it starts to,
it's too heavy and you can't get it onto the escalator in time.
Yes, or if it starts to rattle and then I fall forward and I'm going to take everyone out with me. I have that big fear. Many of the escalators at airports are very, very, very tall.
True.
So I don't love that. I would say heights is sort of a fear of mine. I will go over a bridge, but if the bridge doesn't have guardrails, I don't want to do one of those rickety walking bridges.
Oh no.
Okay.
No ma'am.
No
ma'am.
No.
Nobody's doing that.
No.
Okay.
So seems, those are some things.
Yeah, that seems legit. Escalators though, completely random. But I will tell you, word to the wise, if there is an escalator that is out of service, you know how people walk up it it's stairs.
Right.
No. They will sometimes flatten out and slide down.
Okay.
And Chris saw this whole, I know, right? Now, just never go up a escalator that's not working. Chris saw this thing where somebody had gotten stuck under it. They were walking up, it went flat, and they slid down underneath the escalator.
Right. So we're adding to the fear.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Also, I can grab the handrail, but then now it's how gross is that?
Yeah, it's very gross.
Right.
So
that all comes to my brain.
I lean on it with my elbow.
Smart.
If I need a little, Okay. All right. Great. So fears. Well, because home invasion is such a big fear of mine, it's because I don't get to choose that. You know, like with sharks and alligators, I get to choose. But with home invasion, that's not my choice. And so I'm a bit of a fraidy cat. I mean, on one hand, I'm also this like confident, self-assured, strong woman. I lift weights. Like, yeah, I'm good. But I'm also big time fraidy cat. And so with the house, we've got all the security. So we have obviously an alarm system. We've got the sensors on the doors. We've got the sensors on the windows. We've got the break glass situation. We've got motion lights outside.
It's like Fort Knox.
Yes, I have a firearm. We have cameras. I mean, and it's not like, I mean, you'd think that we're selling drugs there. Like, I mean, like we're all like, this is secure. But we are just a regular old family, and we're empty nesters, and our kids don't live in the house. Like, it's not that serious.
Would you make a panic room if you could?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably. Just in case. Just in case. And if Chris travels, I will not only obviously have all of that, like, locked down and the alarm is on, but I will also lock the door from the garage to the house. Nobody locks that door because, you know, your garage door is a locked thing, but I still will lock that door. I will also lock the door from our upstairs to our basement. We have a full finished basement. It's a part of the house, but still, I'm locking that door. I also lock my bedroom door, and I have learned to keep the lights off because they say if somebody breaks into your house, you know your house better than an intruder does.
Smart.
So you should have the lights out. So if somebody breaks in, don't automatically flip the lights on. You have the lights off.
Okay.
Okay. So the fact that I mean, like, this is a lot.
You've done some research.
Right. I've done the research. Like, there's a lot of thought that goes into this. So I obviously, like, I am seriously afraid of any type of home invasion. Knowing that, let me tell you the crazy thing that happened last week. Are you ready?
I'm prepared. I'm anxious.
On the edge of your seat.
Yes.
It is 6:44 a.m. Now, I know for some people, they've had half their day done by then. Okay, but let's just say Chris and I are empty nesters. We didn't have early morning meetings. We are sound asleep. Like, not even wrestling around a little. No. Snoring. I'm just kidding. We don't snore. But we are dead asleep.
Deep sleep.
Deep sleep. And I get completely shaken out of this deep sleep with our alarm system going off. Like,
oh no.
And it will also call out to you, like, where the alarm went off. And so it's like, garage door, garage door. And suddenly I'm thinking, oh my gosh, okay, wait, the alarm's going off. All right, well, the great news is, you know, the security alarm company, they call you within like 10 seconds, which I'm glad about.
Right.
They call me, I answer the phone, and she says, you know, security, blah, blah, blah. Do you need the police? Yes, we do need, I mean, I said, yes, we do. We're asleep in our bed. I mean, I feel like suddenly I had to explain to her what we're doing. But I said, yes, we do. We are asleep in our bed, and we are not awake yet. And the alarm is going off. She said, okay, we will send the police. We're going to hang up. You also now dial 911.
Okay.
I said, okay. Chris jumps up and puts on his robe. And I'm thinking, are you going to walk towards danger? Like, are you getting out of our bedroom to go to the garage door? No. So I'm on the phone, 911, what's your emergency? Luckily, they picked up quickly because I know some stories of, like, it takes a long time. 911, what's your emergency? I said, you know, blah, blah, blah. Someone's breaking into the house. She immediately gets my address. And then I hear Chris say, babe, you know, he's like yelling. He's yelling from the kitchen. And I'm thinking, okay.
Is he getting attacked? Or
Right. But if he's yelling, babe, you know, I got to figure it out, you know, then I'm thinking it's probably fine. But I keep 911 on the phone with me. Mm-hmm. And I walk out, you know, because who knows? And I walk out. And he's standing next to the door, and he said, look, here's the thing. It's that our door was shut, but not like shut completely all the way. So it was shut enough that the sensor picked up that it was closed. But I don't know if like the heat came on or what throughout the evening. It just barely popped it out, okay?
Yes.
So that's when the alarm went on. Well, okay. Whew.
Thank goodness it wasn't like 2 a.m. I do feel like 6:40 is a little bit better than
it does.
Dead
like
of the night.
Psychologically,
yes, you were still dead asleep, and
right. And I was shaken out of my bed, so it was definitely still dead asleep. But when you think that time, something is less scary at
I would
that
think so,
time.
yes.
Right. It's all in our head. So I'm talking to the lady. Chris shows me this. So I said, we don't need the police. Thank you so much. She's like, okay, so everything's okay. Yes, we're okay. We've turned off the alarm.
And that's the 911
That's
dispatcher.
the 911 dispatcher. And she says, okay, I'll cancel it. Great. Thank you. Whew. So Chris and I are like, oh my gosh, isn't that crazy? Could you even imagine if someone was breaking into the house? That is insane.
And your cortisol levels are just through the roof at the moment.
The adrenaline. I mean, we are, woo. And so we go to lay back down. Obviously, we're not going back to sleep. I mean, it's also morning time,
Of
okay? I mean,
course not.
it's time to get up, get a shower. Let's get the day going, okay? But we go to lay down for a minute just because I needed to take a breath. I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta regulate this. Like, we need to take this down. And so we're both laying there very quietly, just taking a few breaths. And then we hear a man's voice in our house.
What?
A large voice.
Oh no.
And we don't know what he said, but it was like three, like three big words. And I just immediately like grab Chris's neck. And, I have long nails. And I just grab his neck, but just hold my hand there. It's kind of like we froze. So we heard the voice. He froze. I grabbed his neck. I froze. And we both sat there for like 2 seconds. And I know we both thought, okay, this is for real.
This is it.
Like, okay, maybe it wasn't just what we thought. Like, there is some, I mean, I have goosebumps right now just even talking about this. And we thought, okay, someone really, like, they've broken in. What are we going to do? We have a problem. So we both froze for like that 2 seconds. And then he jumps out of the bed. And because I keep a gun underneath my nightstand, I flip off the bed into that floor. So you think it's like, an action movie. I'm like, grab the gun.
Yes.
I flip off the bed, grab the gun from underneath. And now here I am. My adrenaline, I don't know if my adrenaline could get any higher.
Right.
I thought we had been broken into. Then suddenly, okay, we're calling off the dispatcher. All right, we're going to lay back down. Now there are 3 big words said by a man in my house. Chris jumps up, and he doesn't go towards the door this time because we both know, like, okay, this may, like, okay.
Right.
And now I'm holding a gun. He's standing. I mean,
It's Charlie's Angels.
so, Chris is standing there. I've got a gun, and we're both thinking, what are we about to do? Like, this is it. Like, are we about to run out the door and, like, out of our bedroom and confront this man that's in our house?
What do you do?
And that's where I'm thinking, like, I don't know. And because really in that moment you are thinking, am I going to just sit here and wait till someone walks through the door and I've got a gun? Or do you pursue them by going, outside of your bedroom door and then seeing them, finding them? And then what happens? Like, I don't know. I don't know what happens at that point. So, I mean, and I have no idea.
I don't. I'm thinking I maybe would stand there with the gun, like, aimed at the door, but
Right.
then I don't know.
Right. And that's why you just kind of freeze. But I'm like, well, I've got a gun in my hand. So I'm not sure what we're about to do, but
I'm ready.
I guess I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I mean, I'm as ready as I could be. And Chris briefly goes over to our window. Now, our bedroom is a master on the main. So we have a main floor bedroom. And we're very close to our front door. So, like, essentially one of our walls, like, basically on the other side of it would be outdoor, like outside.
Makes sense.
Right. And it would be outside and a front door. So Chris opens up the blinds and looks out, and there is a police officer there.
Okay.
A big police officer. I take a deep breath.
Oh, no.
Chris takes a deep breath. I lower the gun.
That's a good idea. Smart.
Lower the gun.
We don't need this escalating.
We do not need this. And lowered the gun, meaning lowered it, put it down, put it back in its place. Because good news, there's now a police officer at our door. And I'm thinking, well, he's either about to catch the person who is in our house, or was he possibly the voice that was in our house? Because as soon as we see him, Chris goes to the door. I stay in our bedroom and I realize he's probably the voice that, not probably. I mean, definitely he was the voice. We didn't have anybody camped out in our house while also the police were there. So, but we're thinking, okay, he was the voice on the other side of the wall. But why didn't he bang on the door? Or why didn't he say, open up, it's the police?
That's a good point.
And I guess they have protocol, and I'm sure we have listeners who know the reasons why, but I, as just a regular citizen, don't know those reasons. But there was no open up, this is the police, and there was no banging on the door. There was no, ring the doorbell. It was just like 3 big words. And we obviously thought we were going to die, actually, because I'm thinking nobody came to rob me at 6:44. This is a home invasion. This is they're here to hurt me and rob me. And so when Chris went to the door, Chris said, this is obviously our alarm went off, et cetera, et cetera. And I love, though, that he asked Chris for his license.
Oh, that's smart.
I thought so too. And Chris came into his room. He said, the officer wants my license. I said, good for him. Yes. Yes, that's what you should have asked. And so Chris gave him his license and they said, no problem. And what happened was, even though we had called off the dispatcher, like when I was on the phone with the dispatcher and she called it off, the alarm company had also called, because remember when they called me and I said, yes, send the police, she said, okay, we're going to hang up. Also, you call 911. So when I called 911, she canceled it, but the first call was still there. Like, it was still on.
Yes, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
And do you think maybe how much we love true crime and also crime shows plays into this? Because when you said, well, I don't know, I'm expecting them to knock on the door and, try to come in, that's what I was thinking. That's what we see on TV.
That's exactly right. Because, yeah, it's the true crime stuff. You listen to the podcast, you see the documentaries, and I'm sitting here thinking, is he going to walk through the door? Do I go out the door? Do I pursue? You don't know, but I think it's just, I've had a home invasion fear for, I think, since I was young. And also, I have no reason to have that fear.
You've never been broken into.
My uncle and aunt back in the 80s were burglarized. Is that it? Burglarized?
I think so, yes.
Yes. And because a few other houses in the cul-de-sac were. But other than that, we've never had any of that. There's been no breaking into the house. No one's gotten hurt by a stranger breaking it. So it's a completely, I'll say, irrational fear. Because I guess it could happen, but that hasn't happened to us. But again, I'm thinking, well, it's happening now. Oh. So that's it. So Chris comes back in and we just, we do start to laugh a little bit, because at this point, I said, I looked at him, I said, babe, you heard the voice, right? He said, oh yeah, no, I heard it. I was scared too. He said, because that, he was like, let's be honest. Because,
I love it.
Yeah, he said, I was scared too. He said, because that voice sounded bigger than I am. Yeah.
It's amazing.
I was like, that voice did sound bigger than you. So, right. And I just, he admitted, he was like, I was scared too. Because we both heard a man's voice inside our home. So when I say, yikes, who's there? Now we know.
Oh, and it was a positive ending.